Hola a todos. Bom dia. Or as we say in India, namaste. Yeah. So great to be here. My apologies, I have to switch to English now. I just know 3-4 Portuguese words. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. It matters a lot for us at ManageEngine. So we have been doing business in Brazil for the last 18 years, right? So we started in 2005-6. We have grown steadily. We have started doing these user conferences only 2 years ago, 2022, the first event. It was a relatively small event. How many of you were in the user conference in 2022, 2 years ago? Hello, people there? Yeah, thanks for being there, yeah. I don't see many hands. Last year, I know Mariana asked the same question. Last year, how many were there? Yeah, I see a few hands. Most of you are first-timers. This is a great sign. We are very happy about this. We are growing in Brazil. We are really growing in Brazil. We are so happy about it. So you heard from Mariana about the teams, the technical team, the marketing team, the sales team that we had. So 2022, we had a very small team, less than 10 people. Yeah, we have grown since then 3 times in size. And we will be growing much more. The idea is we want to stay close to our customers and be in direct touch to help you with solving your problems, right? So this is our commitment to Brazil, right? So commitment to serving our customers. And it does not stop with ManageEngine, right? So we have partners who have been with us for the last 18 years. So it starts with Pinpoint Systems. Salo's a good friend, right? I cannot see him here. Him and his team. AC Software again, big team. Great friends, Agosto and Diego. We have Alex from Centric Systems, Cynthia. We are growing more partners. The whole idea is we understand what the Brazilian market needs, what you all need. So we are growing this. And you saw 30 people on the slide. There is also a big team of 15 people from India who have traveled for this particular event. To be here, to have the opportunity to talk to you, to understand your problems so we could go better build our products and solutions. So people from India, team from India, can you raise your hands? So we missed you on the slide. They are here. I cannot see them quite. Yeah. So we have about 15 people that have traveled from India. So the point is we are going to have about 300 plus customers. And from ManageEngine and from our partners, we are going to be almost 100 people. So we want to keep these events very intimate. We want to talk to each one of you. We want to give time to each one of you. Get to know, right? So what is your experience with ManageEngine? What is the feedback you have? What questions, concerns you have? Technically, in terms of doing business, in terms of putting the products together, use these 2 days, talk among yourselves. So we want to create a good experience, a ManageEngine experience for each one of you. So we have the team from ManageEngine, we have the team from our partners, we have analysts from Forrester, right? So he's going to talk to all of you. We have Pietro from IDC, so please pick their brains. I'm saying on your behalf, Jean, right? So he's right here. He's happy to talk to each one of you. So please use these 2 days to talk to each one of us. And we will be happy, we will be open to be able to spend as much time as we can with each one of you. All right? So use the 2 days to network, have these conversations going. And in the next 25 minutes or so, right, it is also my duty to talk to you about what we as a global company, ManageEngine is a global company. We have been in the business for the last 22 years, right? We sell across the globe. What has made us stay in business for so long is our ability to understand how things are changing in the technology landscape. What are the problems that you have, our customers have, right? So we are constantly talking to you, understanding what your problems are, taking it, translating into the solutions that we build, right? So it's very important for me to communicate to you on behalf of the entire team of ManageEngine what is our understanding of modern day problems? What are the problems that you're going through, right? And also tell you the vision for ManageEngine, the plan, the strategy, how ManageEngine will evolve going forward. Because you've all trusted ManageEngine, you have invested in ManageEngine, you want to know where we are headed, right? So you want to be assured ManageEngine is building the right solution, we have the right understanding, we are going to be around, we are going to be in the business. All of this is important for you to know, which is why we run these events, right? So, and the team is growing, the partner ecosystem is amazing, we have great partners. So the idea is to be close to you, help you with solving your problem. So I'm going to talk about our understanding, right? So digital transformation has been the buzzword for the last 10, 15 years. So we have all digitally transformed, right? As individuals, we have the phone. Without the phone, we don't exist, right? So the same applies to business. Every business today is a digital business. We have transformed digitally as the entire world is transformed. I travel around the world. Everybody is on a level playing field. And in that case, if that being the case, what is really the differentiator? This is where the idea of maturity or idea of digital maturity comes in, which is exactly what I'll be talking about. What sets individuals apart? What sets organizations apart is their level of maturity. To start with an example, right? I'll go with these pit crew, the pit stop teams of Formula One, right? So we are in Brazil. So you have your Brazilian Grand Prix. You have produced real Formula One legends in this country. You will appreciate this, right? In 2000, year 2000, about 24 years ago, you can see how long it took on an average. Or this is the best time it took in 2000, right? About 8 seconds. And 2020, look at how long it took for a pit stop. Less than 2 seconds. So in 20 years, the Formula One pit crew, the pit stop teams were able to deliver 4 times increase in performance, right? This is what is expected out of every business. You are improving your performance, your throughput, your output, whatever it may be. But does it come easy? Absolutely no. It comes only with more challenges. This is very important, right? So the Formula One teams in the last 20 years had to fight, constantly fight, the change in the technology landscape, right? So things were changing. How do you reduce the weight of the car, right? How do you reduce the cost significantly? Because always a controversy around Formula One. It's a very, very costly sport. They are spending a lot of money. They are burning a lot of fuel. So they had to be eco-friendly. They had to go green. These were all challenges, right? Comply with regulatory mandates around pollution. The well-being of the drivers. Because end of every race, drivers lose about 12 kilos of body weight, right? So how do you cope up with all of this? You have all these challenges, and yet you have to demonstrate 4 times better performance, right? And how do they do that? This is where the idea of maturity comes in, the constant pursuit of operational maturity, right? So that's what helped the Formula One pit crew teams. And if you apply the same analogy to any business today, right? The IT teams, the CIO's organization, which is people like you, you are the equivalent of the pit stop crew for your digital business, right? And that is the same expectation that is put on each one of you. Because the world has gone completely digital, the expectation is the IT team is going to help the business with everything that they want to achieve, their objectives, their 4x, 10x increase in speed. It is true for ManageEngine as a company. It is true for all of you, right? And this again comes with its own set of challenges or constraints or restraints, whatever you may call, right? I have listed few of them. The list is not inclusive to only the 5 of these. The topmost is navigating technology waves, right? So you as Jamie, as analysts would know, most of you would know in your roles, right? 2022 October, we all had a completely different way of life, right? And then October, November, this chat GPT comes, right? So things completely change. In the last 12, 18 months, whatever meetings we have had, this is the top question, right? From the CEOs to the CEOs, how can we not be left behind in this AI race, right? So this is the question most of you are getting. We should not be left behind. Our business should not be left behind. What are we doing, right? So you have to figure things out. And then this is even more important. Regulatory mandates. It's happening across the world for a good reason. So it comes in the form of cybersecurity or privacy, right? All of this, sustainability, all of these factors, you need to be compliant to local regulations, right? Let's face it, 2-3 weeks ago, right? So sorry, like this CrowdStrike incident happens, right? So this is something that is going to happen, going to happen. So which is why the next point is very important. How do you make security a basic building block in your organization? Or the next point, how do you make your company digitally very, very resilient? Again, a CrowdStrike-like incident happens. How quickly were you able to bounce back, right? So this is becoming very, very important. These are challenges thrown at you, right? How many of you know about a regulation called DORA that is coming up in the European Union? DORA. For resilience, they are coming up with a law, like how you have a law for privacy, like GDPR, like you have local privacy laws in Brazil. They are bringing a law, a mandate for companies to be resilient, because businesses today cannot go down because you are liable to the customer expectations, right? It is called DORA, Digital Operations Resilience Act. So chances are Brazil will have such an act very, very soon, right? So with all of these challenges, you are still expected to deliver both customer and employee delight. That is the ultimate expectations from your business, of the CIO's organization, right? So this is the point I wanted to communicate. This is what we understand, we appreciate from ManageEngine, the challenges that you are going through. You already have a complex digital infrastructure, technology infrastructure. You already have tools, you already have teams, the expertise, all of that. Now, what is the next step? The next step is the idea of how can you become digitally more mature. That is the whole point. And what is being mature? In my personal opinion, being mature is being at a much higher plane of awareness, much higher plane of your own ability. So when something goes wrong, when something bad happens, are you reacting or are you responding in the most appropriate way? That is what is going to determine your level of maturity, right? Something like CrowdStrike happens. Are you just reacting, not knowing what to do? Are you just reacting? Or you are responding in the most appropriate way, which is you already have the processes to communicate people, to automatically fix the issues, to reduce downtime, right? So this is what is digital maturity. So how do we define? Maybe some of the traits you already may have, some of the traits you already could be building on, right? So according to me, there are 7 traits that you can do as a self-assessment that tells you what level of digital maturity today you are already in, right? Most of these are self-explanatory. The first one is your digital readiness. Does every person in your workforce, it doesn't matter the most senior executive or the person who joined your organization the previous day, it doesn't matter, regardless of their experience and roles, are they digitally ready? If they have to do something, do they have the digital way of doing? Are they thinking about doing it digitally first, right? So this is the first trait that determines, because many companies want to take the shortcut, right? So not do the right digital way, right? So that is number 1. Number 2 is intelligence. Intelligence, like you have data strewn across your organization in many, many different systems. Because today, like I said, AI is going to give you a lot of power. But AI is not magic. AI is all about how clean your data is, right? As simple as that. So for your data to be clean, your technology infrastructure, your digital infrastructure should be clean, right? So that is what the second point is about. All your decisions are going to be data-driven. Do you have a good, mature, clean data? That is very important. Then comes the idea of trust and security. right? When people do any actions, do they have to explicitly seek trust? Do they have to explicitly seek permission, right? That is going to pull you down. You have to build trust into your infrastructure. This is the whole idea of zero trust, right? So it's basically let people do what they want to do in your digital infrastructure, but also have controls that establishes trust. The moment the system sees the person is trying to do some error or some abuse, it immediately alerts them. It not only alerts them, alerts the superiors, right? So that is the whole point. And then comes the idea of resilience I talked about, how resilient you are. Because as digital businesses, we are constantly under attack, right? Or things like a CrowdStrike incident would happen. How quickly are you able to bounce back? You need to keep assessing. Experience. What I mean by experience, again, everybody that is part of your workforce, every person part of your ecosystem, could be your vendor, could be your partner, more importantly, your employees and customers. Do they have a great digital experience? You have to have mechanisms, you have to have exercises, you have to have audit to make sure you score well on these aspects, right? And finally, innovation. You don't do innovation for the sake of doing innovation. Do you have a good, mature process where innovation flows freely across your organization? Do you foster the culture of innovation, right? So these 7 attributes, these 7 traits, so to say, sort of gives you an indication of how digitally mature you are, right? So that is something I wanted to share. And going forward, how do you think as a CIO's organization? How do you think as a IT team, right? Typically, IT being a back office function for a long time, you are only thinking about keeping systems up and running, right? So making sure if somebody walked in with forgetting their password, you were helping reactively. Now, the thinking should change. You are first doing an assessment of how digitally mature you are. Once you have a good understanding of the traits, you need to also look at these factors, right? As CIOs, as IT managers, am I thinking about my customer objectives first? Because you are no longer thinking only about you, you are thinking about your business and your customers. Are you keeping your customer objectives in your 2024 plan? Are you keeping your customer goals, outcomes in your 2025 plan, which is very important for CIOs. Then you have to ask yourself, am I contributing to the strategy of my business? This is very important, self-assessment. Then only comes technology. Only when you know about your business, you know about your customers, right? So you know about your business model, the way your business is serving your customers, you understand your strategy, is when you can choose the right technology, right? You cannot just choose technology because something is cool. You cannot take OpenAI, put it inside your company and expect magic, right? So that's the whole point. Understand your business, know your strategy, then choose technology, and then focus on your day-to-day operations, right? This is how the factors ought to flow, and then becomes the next 2 points, right? The organization, your culture, your processes, how clean your data is, all of that is important. This is how we want you to think. This is how we are changing our thinking inside ManageEngine, right? It is not easy, but we realize this is how the thinking should change, which is why we are also rethinking our own model. We are a company that has existed for 22 years. We started with building tools. 2002, we started ManageEngine, launched the first product. We were thinking in terms of delivering standalone independent tools, one tool after another, because that's how we were thinking. That thinking changed 10 years after we started integrating our products together, right? So ManageEngine was a set of tools when we started. 10 years after, we were an integrated suite of products. But in 2024, the thinking is changing. Because if you see the evolution or the growth of IT teams, you start to think in terms of operations, right? How do I patch all my systems? How do I monitor the performance of each of my servers, applications, databases? How do I generate my day-to-day reports, number of tickets closed? This is how you are thinking, very operationally. Then you start to think, as you grow, your team grows, your business grows, you start to think strategically. You are thinking about how to deliver better service management. You are starting to think about what is my observability strategy. You are thinking about how resilient am I, right? So this is how strategy happens. And then finally, as leaders, at some point, you're also starting to think of outcomes, right? So this picture is very important. This is how we are thinking inside managing. We are changing our thinking and changing how we build products, how we deliver our solutions is based on this, right? This, we believe, when done properly, improves your levels of digital maturity manyfold, right? As we say in the Indian philosophy, if you take care of your operations well, your strategy well, the outcome will take care of itself. But the outcomes are very, very important. How resilient you are. Do you have a good zero trust architecture inside your company? Do you have a great incident response plan, right? So do you have an amazing working system for your GRC, governance, risk and compliance? What is your sustainability strategy? These are all outcomes. If you do your operations well, strategy well, they will take care of themselves, right? So how is ManageEngine going to help you in this? I'm telling you to have a rethink. I'm telling you how ManageEngine is rethinking the way we look at problems, we look at organizations, we look at building our products. I'm just picking some 5 examples of how things are changing inside ManageEngine. The first one is, we are rethinking. We were a company that was delivering tools to manage Active Directory accounts, right? But today we realize we are a company that should be delivering our own directory services, right? Give you an example, an auditor showing up inside our office, right? Because we are a global company, every month we go through audits. Every month we do internal audit. Every quarter we have external audit. And every year we have a massive, big external audit from the likes of big consulting corporations, right? The real litmus test for ManageEngine is when an external auditor comes in, how easy it is for us to enable or provision access to them, give access to only data that they need to do the audit, and revoke access, all of that seamlessly, right? This is a challenge most of you would have, because this is a big demand when you go through audits. So what we are doing in ManageEngine, we are putting our products together, our IAM suite, our service management suite, our endpoint management suite, all of this will work together. So when an auditor comes in, it could be, the account could be in the ManageEngine system, the account could be in Azure Active Directory or Entra ID. How do we make this experience seamless? This is how we are thinking in ManageEngine. We no longer think about automating identity lifecycle. We are thinking about how to make the life of our customers when an auditor comes in, right? So you get the idea. The second example, how do we weave security into every component of the infrastructure, right? So say, for example, many of us have traveled from India to be here. We all connect our devices to the hotel Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi, all of that, right? So we again have multiple different products in ManageEngine. So we have our endpoint management suite, which has its own agent. We have our CASB solution, all of that. Now, what is the requirement? When I am connecting from my office, I have 100% access to all the enterprise systems. If I am in sales, I have access to all the customer data. I'll be able to maybe even download some files, download some attachments. The same device, when I go connect from a hotel Wi-Fi, same application will function with much restrained entitlements. It will not show me all the data. It will not allow me to take screenshots or download any, because you could be under attack, right? So this is something ManageEngine is thinking holistically. So we have the SIEM solution, we have the CASB solution, we are building next generation antivirus based on machine learning, we have anti-ransomware, all of this being built. But the thinking is, how do we make your life simple, right? Similarly, the third example, how do we run cross-functional workflows? Again, so many of us have traveled from India to Sao Paulo here. 15 people, we raise a travel request. This triggers a workflow from the travel team for them to book tickets. Before that, They need to check for visa requirements. Are we vaccinated? What are the requirements? Are our devices that we are carrying on this trip encrypted? Is there any travel due from the previous trips pending? All of this could be checked. Now, so far with ManageEngine, you had multiple products. You had service displays. You had service displays will help you with ticketing. You go to Endpoint Central that will help you with encrypting devices. But you had to go to 4 or 5 different products to do all this. Now we are wiring everything as one workflow. You go create a workflow in one product. It will take care of executing all these steps across the product. So this is how ManageEngine is evolving. This is how our thinking is evolving to help you. And then another example, when you, for example, do a cloud migration project. I'm just picking it as an example, moving from Azure to GCP or from GCP to AWS. It's a complex project, right? So you need to execute a big change management project. You need a lot of assistance, right? So we are talking about co-pilots, we are talking about predictive assistance and all of that. In our service management system, powered by our observability stack, our SIEM system, when you do a migration, how can we contextually help with our own artificial intelligence library? So in ManageEngine, we have our own ManageEngine labs where we invest a lot of time and energy building our own language models, building our own machine learning libraries. So this is one particular example that we use ourselves. When you are executing a complex project like a cloud migration, you need to do due diligence. During that phase, you need access to a lot of data. Do you have a good co-pilot telling you what could go wrong? Do you have a good intelligence system warning you about what are the things to take care, right? So we have good predictive intelligence capability there. Then comes when you actually execute the change, do we have any explainable intelligence, right? So when something goes wrong, does the system tell you why did it go wrong, right? And finally, we also have generative intelligence capability, so which you will see very soon in service displays, very close to the launch, where it can generate, after you executed a big change, it can generate a new manual, it can generate new videos as instructional material, right? All of this. The point is these things work seamlessly. And for them to work seamlessly, we are changing our thinking. It's no longer seen as a feature inside a product, but as a solution that we need to deliver. And finally, things like a network failure, right? Something goes wrong in your network. You need different levels of visibility for different people, right? So when operational people work on a problem that has just happened, they need access to completely different set of data. When strategic people, right? So your IT directors or NOC administrator log in, they need to see like what is the time it is going to take to repair the failure. Whereas operational people are more focused on what went wrong, right? And finally, the executives, they are more worried about what happens to the reputation. They are worried about what is the revenue loss due to this incident, right? We have an analytics platform that collects data from across all ManageEngine products, depending on the person logging in into the system. If the person is operational, they'll see completely different set of data. If the person is strategic, they see what they need to see. And if they are an executive, things pop up in their mobile phone with data that they need to see, right? So again, the point is, ManageEngine, from being a set of products, from being a suite of integrated products, we are evolving into one single platform that will manage the digital enterprise end-to-end, right? So we spoke about it last year. We could have easily gone from having 65 products to building 100 products, right? 120 products. But we took a stop and said, we have to change our thinking because the world is changing. The problem landscape is changing. So we need to change the way we deliver our products, the way we deliver our solutions to our customers. And how are we doing it? This is how the structure inside ManageEngine is going forward, right? So we no longer think only service displays. We no longer think only Op Manager or Site 24x7. We think about building tools at the operational layer. This is how do we patch your systems. This is how do we do mass account provisioning. All of that will continue to happen. The investments will continue to happen. 65 products will become 75, 80, but they will not stay as standalone products. That is the big difference. Then comes the functional layer. How we put few of these products together to deliver service management, to deliver observability, to deliver unified endpoint protection. We call it endpoint protection platform now, right? So how do we evolve? So we have the operational layer, set of tools. We have the functional layer where few of the products would seamlessly work together. In addition, we are also building a very strong services layer, if you notice. Things like how do you search across all the ManageEngine products. Today, you go to one product in ManageEngine, Service Desk Plus, you do a search, it can search only inside the product. But that is not helpful for you. You need to search across ManageEngine products for you to have better visibility. How do you run analytics across the products? How do you do artificial intelligence and machine learning across these products, right? How do you run workflows? Create a workflow in product A. The same workflow instance should be visible and running across many products. How can we make that happen? We are building this in the services layer. And on top of all this comes the solutions layer, right? So products, suites, services, and then comes the solutions. What are the solutions? There is no end to the number of solutions we can build. Few examples. How can you increase the efficiency of your IT operations? This is something all our customers ask, right? We want to become more and more efficient with our infrastructure operations. How do we do that? So we seamlessly put together products at all the layers, operational layer, functional layer, and the services together. So you can see the product spotlights. These 4 or 5 products come together and help you with improving your digital operation efficiency. The second solution, how do you deliver great digital experience for your employees, for people in your workforce, right? They should not feel any lag. There should not be any malware attack. There is no downtime. Whether they are in the office, whether they are working from home, whether they are traveling, wherever they are using the corporate device, they are using the corporate digital infrastructure. Is their experience great all the time, right? So this is how we are thinking you put these products together to improve the digital employee experience. And finally, how do you enhance security operations wherever you are, right? Again, products like Endpoint Central, Log 360, PAM 360. You no longer think about individual products, you think in terms of solutions. That is the language we will speak. That is the language you need to also be thinking and start speaking about. And we will be able to deliver solutions that you need, right? So, like I said, this is our understanding from ManageEngine, how things are changing, how your needs are changing, and how we are evolving into a platform from just a set of products, right? So this is the message I wanted to convey. Over the various sessions in the next 2 days, this is what our team will be talking to you. What are the improvements happening in the individual products? In addition, what are the things that we are doing to put them together seamlessly? So this is something you can particularly talk to people that have traveled from India, right? So we have experts from all the products that you see here. If you have any questions, how these products integrate, how these products work as a platform, especially how you can create workflows, right? Please reach out, we'll be happy to help. Because for you, it is very, very important to understand, have clarity about where we are headed, how we are evolving, right? So again, to summarize, this is how we see companies evolving. This is how your thinking ought to change. And we are already changing ourselves in ManageEngine to help serve you better. And this will happen without losing focus on what has been our strength so far. This is ManageEngine. We will build more and more and more tools and products. But at the same time, we'll also find a way to put them together to work seamlessly as one platform, right? So this is my important message. And the other important message is, I talked to you about Formula One. I talked to you about the efficiency they brought in. But technology disruptions don't leave you at all, right? So we talk about Formula One being powered by legacy fuel, traditional fuel. We are already talking about Formula E, right? Where there are no pit stops, which means they don't need any pit stop teams or a pit crew. So apply the same analogy to digital businesses. When everybody in your organization becomes technically savvy, technically aware, we ask this question, right? I'm not saying it to frighten you, but I'm saying it to you as a person who has seen many technology waves, many technology disruptions. This can happen, right? So companies no longer may need an IT team or a CIO's organization. In many organizations, I already see the trend. There are no CIOs. There is only Chief Digital Officer, right? So please be prepared for such disruptions. From our side, on ManageEngine behalf, when you are in that situation, we'll still be there to help you with the right solutions, the right products. So this is a message I wanted to leave you with. If you have any questions, any feedback, please reach out to me over the course of next 2 days. And for now, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, we look forward to talking to each one of you. So please feel free to keep the conversation going. And for now, thank you so much. Obrigado. Thank you. Cheers.